So, CD Projekt Red has finally begun preparations for the next big update for Cyberpunk 2077. We actually have a brand new internal update on the Steam database that went up roughly 18 hours ago. Of course, we're gonna check out what this all means and what you should expect in terms of a possible launch window for this new update, as CD Projekt Red has been pretty consistent in the past with the release windows from the moment of these internal branches going live to the updates getting fully released. And of course, we also have some other news. It seems that CD Projekt Red has further disproven the recent leaks, and not just that, they completely obliterated any of those single points as pretty much false. So we should also check that and what it means for the future of the game. As always, a thumbs up on this video would be greatly appreciated, and let's begin. Let's begin with recent database entries for Cyberpunk 2077. If you take a look at the Steam database page, you will see that the game got an internal branch update roughly 18 hours ago on January 14 around 1700 hours UTC, and the changelog is already pretty significant on day one, which is quite unusual. Most of the big updates get more of incremental changes as days or weeks pass by, but this already started with a rather large change list, probably indicating that whatever this next update is will be quite significant and it will make a lot of changes, be it big or small, to the game already. So it could totally be a bundle of updates, maybe new features, the next gen upgrade, and maybe some DLCs as well, but who knows, that remains to see since most of this data is encrypted. What's noteworthy here is how much time it takes for CD Projekt Red to fully implement an update from its internal testing all the way up to its release. And I actually analyzed all of the previous updates from 1.3 to 1.2, all of the major ones and some of the smaller ones, and CD Projekt Red has been quite consistent over the past year in terms of internal testing and releasing. So for its major releases, CD Projekt Red took anywhere between 1 month and 1 week to 1 month and a half to fully implement it from the QA internal testing all the way up to the full release. Meanwhile, for some of the smaller updates, it could last as few as a couple of weeks before updates got fully implemented. So to give you a couple of examples, with the previous update 1.3, the first internal branch got updated on July 7th and the big update got released on August 18. Meanwhile, the previous major update to that, which was 1.2, got its internal branch on February 5th and the full release was on March 29th. But in the case of some of the smaller updates like 1.23, it took only a couple of weeks for the full release to happen. And in this case, it's likely going to be similar, if not maybe even slightly longer, because this is technically speaking the biggest update the game has seen yet, and it will likely require a lot more testing than some of the previous updates. And it also seems to be the one that's been in the works for the most amount of time, which means that we should expect roughly 2 months for testing to go until we should see the update go live. And this would also fit that March theory we were throwing around in some of the previous videos, when Cyberpunk 2077 might get an announcement next month around the middle of February, and then following up with the full release in March, which technically, as I've said, is still first quarter of 2022, and even in that case, expected towards the end part of the month. Now, the content is a whole nother topic. Obviously, we don't really know what CD Projekt Red is thinking of adding, and some recent comments by a few developers have thrown a big wrench in what people were expecting in terms of updates. So we have yet another CD Projekt Red developer. This time around, it's the lead quest designer that again reiterates that this time around nothing from those rumors was actually true. So I'm just going to play the clip for you right now.
Marcin wrote Cyberpunk Samurai Edition. I mean, my friend, I hope you know that this is a absolute, rumor, and nothing is confirmed from that rumor. I just don't want you guys to be like, disappointed or even like expect something else,
So basically what he's trying to say is that he's completely disproving those rumors so that you don't get disappointed again by expecting different things than what CD Projekt Red might have in store with the new update, especially since many of those, according to him, well, in the leak are completely made up things. And this complicates things quite a bit, because this is the second blanket statement that mentions these rumors are completely completely fake, as in their entirety, even the ones that seemed quite plausible. Like in the case of AI improvements, or maybe free guns or free DLCs, they didn't seem that false to me. And even the roadmap that CD Projekt Red posted so many times in the past includes the ideas of free DLCs, which likely would contain guns as well. And also, it's not that outlandish to expect AI improvements or any improvements for the game. So again, this blanket statement that everything in those leaks is completely false is quite complicated. So what this tells us is that we should not expect any of the improvements that have been rumored so far, even though they made some sense at some point, because who knows, maybe CD Projekt Red is aiming for something completely different, even though it might still qualify as improvements, because literally that's what they have stated in their updated roadmap. So those improvements could be something completely different that nobody has been expecting so far. Maybe they will be diving a little bit deeper into how their engine works, so that it does not generate so many problems in the features that we get to experience in the game. Like for example, one that was most striking to me was the fact that CD Projekt Red was unable to add water physics because of a deep engine problem that would cause problems in other areas of the game. And the same, I believe, was the explanation for the AI. Simply upgrading the AI was not an option, since it required more deeper level kind of changes to the core of the game. But otherwise, let's talk about a really interesting development in the modding community, which finally added one of the most requested features of all time. Obviously, it seems that it's left to the modding scene to bring these changes in the game, because CD Projekt Red is likely aiming for something completely different. So we finally have a fully fledged vehicle customization mod in the game. And when I say fully fledged, take that with a grain of salt, because right now it only seems to function as a form of UI selection screen where you get to choose a skin for your current vehicle. Obviously, this only works for your owned vehicles, not the vehicles that you get to find out in the wild. You can use the appearance mode menu for that, but this one is actually pretty sweet because it also lasts after you save your game. So you can pretty much change your current vehicle with whatever existing skin is in the game, and there's many selections in there to make it look way cooler. Like, there's skins that I have yet to see in the game after hundreds and hundreds of hours of playing Cyberpunk 2077, both on the PC and the PlayStation. And this is the funniest part to me, because CD Projekt Red is not implementing all of these cool changes that people have been requesting for so long, despite the fact that they have hired more than 8 mod authors so far, at least according to Paul Sasko's latest statements. There's an entire department that includes a lot of previous mod authors that worked on both Cyberpunk 2077 and other games in the past, maybe even Skyrim, maybe, we don't really know. But it's funny to see that that feedback doesn't yet fully qualify for an update that people have requested for so long. Who knows, maybe we will see it in the future, or maybe this new big update that we should see in the next couple of months will totally surprise us, and whatever improvements CD Projekt Red will bring will completely overshadow the ones that we were expecting. This is it though, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.